All right, here we go on a podcast on a Tuesday. I do apologize. We did not do one yesterday. Not the post-game podcast. Had somewhere to be, and I had to get out of here at 10 o'clock. So here we are on a Tuesday after those storms yesterday, and Al Dukes is in Montana. So sitting in for Al is one Eddie. What's up, Eddie Scozzare?
Hello, podcast people.
Do you miss the old
YouTube person.
the Eddie Scozzare?
No.
No?
No.
It was so synonymous with you, though, back in the day, you know?
Yeah, it was, but, all good things.
Like the first when I came in for my interview and I met you, it was like, I remember going home telling my dad, I met the Eddie Scozzare. Like that was cool. That was good stuff.
Yeah. It's give me something to put on the tombstone.
Okay. That's morbid. Speaking of morbid, we are 10 months away
Mhm.
from your retirement. Would you like to tell the audience now that you have changed your mind?
No, not at all.
Would you like to tell the audience that you have extended it to the end of summer and you've changed it to Labor Day weekend?
No.
So we're still firm on the Friday before Memorial Day of 2026.
Yeah, we are, yeah.
All right. So we'll obviously do this week and maybe another couple of times this summer, but do you have the count is how long, how many years here? 30 what?
36.
All right. We've obviously talked about the station before,
Mhm.
but a little bit different, more directed towards you. I'll ask you a series of questions based on your 34 years here.
Okay.
And if you don't want to answer them, don't answer them. But I don't think it's really putting anybody out.
36. But
36, I'm sorry, 36 years. Doesn't have to be a host. Favorite person that you've worked with in 36 years?
Wow.
And it could be because you guys went out for drinks every night. It could be because you just got along. It could be because he gave you a ride home in a thunderstorm for whatever reason.
I'd honestly have to say Al, just because we spend so much time.
See,
together.
I was going to guess Lou Ruffino. I thought you two back in the day were not tight, but got along so great.
Yeah, no, we did it. We were, and Carlin.
Sure.
And many others. But like for Al and I not to hate each other after spending so much time in a confined space, day after day, year after year, I would have to say Al, really, honestly. Just because it's like,
Why has it worked?
I think we're a good mesh of personalities. We sort of complement each other. He is more prone to be uptight about certain things. I am more prone to be calm about certain things.
Most things.
So I think it's a balance. We balance each other out, I believe.
And this is for you and Al. You were around 2008, right?
7.
It was 2007.
Thanksgiving of yeah.
Oh, so it was only a few months Lou was in that.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Lou was there until Imus got his other deal.
Right.
When he went to ABC, right?
No, RFD.
Oh, right.
Remember he went to that country TV station?
Yeah.
Which, if you remember, I saw it when I was in Texas and I took a picture and sent it to you.
And I remember that first show was just like a technical
was it?
Disaster. Yeah.
I don't remember that. Well, he must have handled that well.
Yeah. So and then but it was not long after that he got with ABC, I think, right?
Yeah. Well, ABC and then back on TV with CNBC, I believe it was. Over the years, we talk about a lot about how when you see a guy that's been divorced a few different times or has, went to college, started a career, got married, had a couple of kids, divorced, married another woman, had kids, like they've had different lives within their one life.
Yeah.
You have had multiple careers within this one career here at the radio station.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask you what you've liked more. No need to. But best moments I'll give you two things. Your best moments of working with Boomer and either Gio or Carton, doesn't matter. Pick one of them. Or you can pick one of each. Best moment working with Mike and Chris. Best moment working with Susan and Jody.
But I'm terrible at this sort of thing, and the times that I am asked these questions, I usually it's a big fail for me in terms of the answer because the nature of our show, for me anyway, it's just moment to moment, show to show. It all kind of runs together and blends together, and it's so immediate that it's not, it's hard to isolate any one particular thing. I mean, there were, times when I had a drop that really killed, but there's been like so many of them that I don't really ever stop to think and categorize. And I've never journaled um things. I just kind of,
So that's something I wish I did.
yeah. I
I
mean, part of me does and part of me doesn't, because I'm like, I don't know. I just I live it, and then the
w-
show's over, and then it's on to the next one.
for you, but for me, sometimes I would like to be able to go back and retrieve something.
Mhm.
And if I don't have it, whether it's cataloged or saved in a special folder, man, it's like a needle in a haystack, and you
Yes.
just can't do it.
Right. And for me, I've kinda I'm okay with just not having access to that, because, like, ultimately, like, what would I do with all that? I'm
Right.
not one that really goes back
That's
and,
true. Really more me than anybody.
yeah, I just, I j it's just what's next, what's next, what's next. It's just the nature of what we do. I don't try to hold on to, the other things, because
Mhm.
you know, nobody cares. So
Nobody cares.
it'll it's on to the next thing.
So 36 years means you started in 1989.
Uh-huh.
Explain to those out there, especially, I mean, our podcast, we've got, I feel like anybody from, and I mean this from people I've talked to, anybody from 15 years old to 60 years old, that maybe even older, that now watch on YouTube
Mhm.
or listen on Spotify or iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts from. Explain the difference. You've done it every single day. You've been in this building in Astoria every single day for 36 years. How is the business different? How is this radio station different?
Well, I will say that one of the glaring differences is the amount of staff and the sort of focus on, you remember when
Oh,
you were,
gotcha.
the focused on the gathering of the sound and the editing of the sound. And back when I started, it was stone knives and bearskins, to quote Mr. Spock, that, like, you were literally cutting tape with a razor blade,
Sure were.
splicing it back together. It would take, you know half an hour to do what I could do in 5 minutes
Yep.
now, or less. It's so easy with the digital. So, but the amount of people that we have is diminished over the years in terms of the support staff. And so that's a big difference, that the as we've gone on, that it has become, the things that we used to think were paramount are now really almost ignored. And you know it, you
Oh, for
see it,
sure.
you live it.
Every day.
And yet the station thrives and survives because, while those other things, the things those people did certainly supported and in some ways made it better, the way the business has changed, those things are just not as important and vital, as vital. So as long as you have the personalities driving the radio station, which has really always been the case, it survives and it thrives still without those things. Now, everyone here who remains has to do more, but that's not unique to our business at all.
No, it's everywhere.
And the technology aspect is just, as I said, from, razor blades to a digital editor, and just the way the commercials are stored, and, they're all on digital files instead of on the things that looked like 8 tracks, and you remember
Yep.
carts. So, that has certainly been an improvement, where the other thing, in a lot of people's opinion, is not an improvement, the reduction of the staff, but we survive.
And
Not
move
all of
on.
us, but we
Right.
survive.
Dan Patrick did an interview where he was essentially talking about, and this was the other point I was getting to with how things have changed, how the business has changed. Forget internally and that, but more outwardly and what the product you hear and how people consume it. And he was talking about how it used to be ratings, 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 and now he said, and I don't necessarily disagree with him. I don't think it's not about ratings anymore. It's about the clicks. It's
Mhm.
about the likes. It's about the video views. You've done this so long and you're kind of you're in your final 10 months of it. Do you like it more now the way it is or what it used to be? And it's very different.
The ratings, you mean, or how we're
No,
judged?
I mean the product itself and the way you are judged now. It used to be hardcore sport. I mean, think
Mhm.
about the days of Spitz and Chernoff, and when a story would break about a certain player, the first thing Eric would say is, "Go find his high school baseball coach or something
Right.
and get it in." Like those days are over around here.
Mhm.
Maybe they survive in other places like the niche networks. But if you're doing sport like that, that's not what it is anymore. It's just a very different
Yeah,
product.
no, it used to be sort of okay and expected to preview a Mets Brewers series. You would get on a Brewers broadcaster or a
Yes.
Brewers beat writer, and that was, I think the audience liked it and expected it, and that was what you did as a producer, trying to, can you imagine that now? Even
Well, I
for
think it happens on the weekends, I believe.
mhm.
Like, weekend programming really still is more nuts and bolts, but you're right, day to day, no, you don't see that anymore.
Yeah, and as the audience says, well, for Boomer and Carton and Boomer and Geo for sure, the they want the hosts. They like the show, the interaction between the 5 of us. So, like Al always says, that I think the guest, unless it's a really outstanding guest that does not just a name, but that actually comes on and gives a compelling interview, people don't, I don't think, want that anymore. And that's a change because remember Mike and Chris, who did as much sort of fooling around and other sort of things with movies and their personal lives and all that, which people liked. They also did hardcore, a 45-minute interview with Huey Brown,
Sure. Oh,
and
sure.
people loved it.
Yep.
So that's different. Better, worse, I don't know. I think just times have changed. In terms of how we're judged, we're still judged on the old
We
ratings
are.
because we're not, we're on a strong signal in New York City. We're not one of these other, like a Dan Patrick, where I don't know where he is broadcast or if he's
He
broadcast.
is, I don't know where.
Right. So, but for him and for many others like that, the clicks and all that are important. For me, for us, and I know it is important, and I'm old school, but I think what we're doing on the air is the most important thing,
Right.
rather than the clicks. But the industry has changed to where that is now deemed important. But as someone who does not go out and look at clips and get my news that way or anything like that, for me, and it's probably just because 'cause I'm old, it's not as important. So it's almost like I don't even pay attention to all the, download numbers and all that. It doesn't, it's meaningless to me.
Right.
So for me, it's based on that rating book. And did you win your key demo in the spring book and the fall book and all that? That's, to me, what I still look at as the standard.
I'll go back to the interview thing, and I know I differ from everybody here. I still enjoy the interview from the guy that knows what he's talking about.
Mhm.
I mean, so much of what we do, and there's nothing right or wrong about it. It is the business now is just opinion based. I like actually knowing what's going on, though.
Sure.
So much of what we say is just what we think. But this isn't 1994 where guys are in locker rooms and then they come and do a show with this firsthand knowledge of what that shortstop was thinking on the bad throw or what the goalie was seeing in front of him or whatever the case might be. There are no more interviews with the players. There's no one talking to anybody. It's just we watch a game, we react. And in some cases, we're no better than the guy in section 512.
Mhm.
We're just not. And I mean that collectively. I don't mean me and you. I mean the business. I do miss hearing from to me, I love when Howie Rose is on this radio station.
Mhm.
He's got great stories.
Mhm.
He's around the team every day. I think Gary Cohen, we never put him on. I think he's an interesting
For
listen.
sure. Yeah.
When Keith and Ron are on, they're fantastic. Like I like the interviews. But I know I'm a dinosaur and I get that, and the business has changed. That's why when I find it on satellite radio, it's like I find myself listening to that more and more than I ever have actually.
And I do enjoy those interviews as well. And now in the past, I would enjoy an interview on a subject that I was not necessarily that interested in,
Mm,
but if it was a good interviewer and a good guest,
right.
I could say, "Hey, this is sort of an interesting topic," and I would learn something about it if I wasn't familiar. And that, but I don't. That was the younger me, and now it's like I don't care as much about that, and if I'm not interested in it, I'm not gonna listen. Now I like the Howie, the Gary, the Keith, the Ron, because 'cause I'm a Mets fan and
Sure.
I like that, or if there's some other big story, but in terms of the lack of importance of guests, I think in part it's because there's so much information and clips out there that you can find information in shorter forms about almost any topic you would want
Well, but I
just
could
by
make
a quick
but
search.
I could make that same case back in the day. If you just grab the New York Post, you'd get all the information by reading some articles. You
Yes,
gotta do the work.
correct.
Whereas
But it's
radio, you just flip it right on. There's the guy giving you everything you need.
yes, but we can get a lot of what we need that we used to
Sure.
get from guests from the internet, from
I
these
suppose.
short clips. So
Yeah.
it's sort of in that way diminished. You're not getting the nuance and the stories
Right.
and all of that, the longer form, if you will. But that's another way it's changed.
I got a few more for you quickly. 36 years. Any regrets in any way, shape, or form? And I don't mean personally, I mean professionally. Was there ever a job that you wanted to apply for? Like there are, so for, I've always said the only, and it's not even a regret in my case, but the only thing I kick myself for is, and let me be clear, I probably wasn't getting the job. I don't even know if I would have gotten an interview, but the idea that I didn't even inquire about the Nick radio job
Mhm.
to me to this day still, what was I doing?
Mhm.
Is there any job that you kind of just let walk away that you didn't interview for or bypass that you could have had?
Well, way back early on, because I had maybe more of an aptitude for engineering
Mhm.
than other people who in the programming department. I did a few sort of apprenticeships in the shop back.
Mm.
This is before you even got there. In Astoria, like as an engineer, and I did a few like shifts where I was the
You were in
one.
charge.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, and that was kind of interesting, but then just circumstances changed, and I think maybe it was when I got moved to the midday, and as the board operator, and then that just didn't work out anymore, but that could have been an opportunity, that would have been an interesting
Right.
career path, but I'm very happy with the way things turned out, so it's not really I regret that, but I wonder what would have happened. And as a like what a regret for a job sort of that I agreed to, which in retrospect I couldn't, but of course your whole path would be different. You never know. But accepting the producer job for Russ and Steve, I was a terrible producer in terms of what was deemed important as a producer at the time,
Meaning,
booking guests.
okay.
I was a decent call screener, although I spent too much time and
Mhm.
was too nice to people. I just can't help it. Like as was illustrated when I was filling for Al during pandemic, when I was just like,
Sure.
you remember some of those
Of course.
callers that I would put on. But by that time, it was almost a bit. But I was not a good producer in terms of guest booking because I wasn't aggressive enough. I
Mhm.
wasn't, I was. If somebody said no, I was like, okay, and I wasn't one like I hate asking people for stuff,
I'm with
and
you.
it's just not my personality.
I know.
So, and I was a producer for 11 years, and I was terrible at it
Mm.
in terms of that aspect of now show management and screening calls and the interactions and all that. I thought I was good or better than good at
Right.
that part of it. But the what was deemed most important by the higher ups was, what do you got on? What do you got to guess? And like, and always having to think about, hey, this whatever, like the Brewers series coming. I mean, it was like it was draining to me. And that was it not all times, but sometimes during that time, it was not a fun job for that reason
Because you're
of
taking it home with you too.
correct, correct.
That's the beauty of this job that we have. We walk out of here. I don't think about it till the next
Right.
morning.
Now, when I started doing the scheduling, that
Oh God, that was
I
brutal.
now and I did take that home with me and weekends with me and
Yeah.
Christmas and Thanksgiving and 24/7, 365. So, but that to me was it wasn't as daunting.
Mhm.
Listen, it was, never done, never over, always with you. So there were, when I'm getting phone calls on Christmas Day from a horse anchor who can't come in, which
Oh,
which happened, um, that like, what do you do then? And it's, whatever,
it's chaotic.
opening presents and whatever, or
Oh
cooking
God.
turkeys and all that stuff. So, but that didn't, I don't know, didn't sort of make it like unfun. Those moments weren't
Of
fun,
course.
but it was different than the other thing because I felt like I was failing.
Got it.
But for that, like I almost always found
You
a
figured it
way.
out.
I figured it out.
If there was one thing that people that have heard your name, have heard you, seen you out, wouldn't if there's one thing people don't know about Eddie Scozzare, what would it be?
Well, a lot of our lives is sort of an open book. Um,
But not everything.
no, well, people know I love the dogs. I love going for walks. I love going for hikes.
I know all this.
I like to ski, although it's been a while with my knees being
Mhm.
all messed up. Um,
Do you feel like you've pretty much lived
yeah,
wide open?
yeah, pretty much. I'm just trying to think. People know how I vote if they pay attention just a little bit. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't really have any deep, not secrets,
No, no,
but
no, no.
something that,
I wouldn't call them secrets. It's
yeah.
see,
I
some things do, remain, I guess,
I
private or just never come up.
I like planting a garden. I don't know if
Okay.
people know that. Tending a garden, digging the weeds.
Right.
uh, to quote the Beatles now. Um, those are, that's stuff that I enjoy.
Is there a music genre that you like that we would be surprised by?
Well, it might have come up, I'm not sure, but I listen to classical music a lot, especially now. I started when I was doing the scheduling because I couldn't listen to, rock music, popular music, because it would be distracting to me with the lyrics. But then I started listening to WQXR right here in New York City. And that was something that I could schedule and work through. And have, I can identify, one of Bach's Brandenburg concertos now. And I can identify, a handle or whatever. Because I listen so much and I still do that at home when when we're not watching anything, I'm just working around. I put that on. Yeah, WQXR. So I do like classical music.
Look at that. So we just learned
Yeah.
something.
Now, and on Saturdays from 1 to 3 or 4, depending on the length of the opera, QXR does operas, which I'm not a fan of. So then I will go to WCRB out of Boston during those times. And when
Oh boy.
one of them is in a pledge drive, I go to the other one. It's so annoying. So,
All right, last two for you. What do you think the future of this show is? And I'll take it, maybe really the last question. Two different ways, though. You and Al
mhm,
are on your way. Al, a little bit longer than you, but
mhm,
within a few years, you guys are going to vacate that control room.
mhm.
What is the future in there? What does it look like? And what does the future in here look like?
Well, I mean, are we saying that Boomer's gonna be
I don't
here
know.
longer than,
I don't
well,
know.
I think
I'm
if,
asking you what you think.
like, uh, listen, I am the 5th member of the show, and, you know, if you rank us.
Well, there's no need
So,
to rank anybody, but
you know what I'm saying. And I think if the decision is made to just let the new person just be themselves and not try to be me and just bring whatever they have to the table, it'll be fine. And not to put, don't ask them to be me because they're not going to be me. Just have them be themselves and be their own character. That will be fine as long as Boomer and Geo and you and Al are here, and and to sort of have me be replaced, and then a few years later Al be replaced. That is probably a good thing rather than both of us at once.
true.
And And I think Gio is a supreme radio talent, so I think he'll be fine. And just when Boomer leaves, what's the decision then? But I do think it'll be fine. It'll carry on.
Well, all great shows have a lot of change.
Yes.
It is remarkable, though, how long this one has gone. With now, I know Craig took his vacation in 17, and we pivoted to Geo.
Hmm.
So yes, there has been one big change. But boy, oh boy, from 2009 when I stepped in to now, I mean, it's 16 years
Right.
with only. I'm not talking about the subtractions. I feel bad for the people that either left or
Correct.
were asked to leave.
Correct.
I don't mean that. But in terms of what you see on TV every day, it is amazing to me how long the run's been.
Yeah, we have had it was 2007, so it'll be 19 years next year, right? And
Mhm.
in that time, when I leave, there will have been 2 cast changes. Yourself,
Mhm.
and then Carton and
Yeah.
Geo. So now there was also we used to have a traffic reporter, but
Sure.
I don't know if you want to include that. You can certainly if you want. So maybe 3 changes.
Sure.
But yeah, it's been a very stable for almost 2 decades.
And you know how many people I meet now that say it is even yesterday at the golf event I was with my son, how many people I meet that are in their mid 20s that say, "Man, I grew up listening to you with my dad."
Yeah,
And then you meet the dad who's like our
right.
age,
Mhm.
and it's so funny seeing like we've gotten old.
Yes.
And it's funny to see the turnover and the changeover.
Sure.
And even like my older son's friends now watch and listen. And it's like the next generation, and they think this is new,
Right.
you know?
And the people that, used to say similar things that, "Hey, I grew up listening to Mike and Dog with my dad." And now those people have their own children who are
Right.
listening to us or Evan and Tiki or what have you. So, yeah, it's just time marches on.
Yes, it does. And this has marched on. We'll get back to a more traditional podcast tomorrow,
Sure.
which we will sit in with Al out, but me
A-
and you will do it again
And
tomorrow.
let me apologize for coming up small on all these questions. Favorite this, the best moment this. I don't.
I also gave you no preparation.
Well, that's also true. But even with it, I would have been like, it would have been a drudgery. I'm like, oh man, I got to think because I don't hold
Yeah, I
those
hear you.
things in my head. It's just
I was just thinking like
moment to
no
moment.
one knows this place more than you. And I thought maybe you'd give us a couple of fun stories. You didn't,
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
but that's okay.
I really don't hold on to them.
That's fine.
I do like, I do have an answer, not for now because we're signing off, but like, of what am I most proud of? That I do have an answer
All right.
for.
So we'll hold that for Thursday.
Sure.
We got to remember though.
All right.
All right.
And I'm sure we'll do others together.
By the way, is it a long story? We have time. Where am I going?
Well, just save it.
We'll save it. Fair enough. I will end it on that.
All
I've
right.
got the warm up show that was me solo for 2 segments, and then Fliegelman with me in the last segment. We'll back here tomorrow. Same situation at 5 a.m. The guys are back at 6. I'll let you do the whole thing on the way out the door. And yeah, we will catch you on a Wednesday morning.
See